I know most people do not have a yoga strap at home, so if you want to grab a scarf or a t-shirt or a towel or anything that's kind of got some length, at least maybe 3 feet, that we can use as a strap, that would be great. So grab that. And then we'll come just to a comfortable seat to start. So kind of get the wiggles out, rock a little side to side. Maybe we were even more sedentary over the weekend than we are during the week. So for those practicing live, it's Monday. So we'll get a little bit of movement. So just start circling the ribs over the hips. And switch, go the other way. So just noticing where the breath is in the body. So once you have the wiggles out, come back to neutral, find stability. Root down through the earth. So we're talking about how our feet and our ankles are often those points that are rooting us down into the earth, but in this case, in our comfortable seat, our Sukhasana pose, rooting down to the earth with our sits bones and our legs. So allow the eyes to be closed. Rock forward and back a little until you find that neutral place for the spine, just stacking directly over the hips. Allow the shoulders to release from the ears. Cultivating these thoughts and feelings of stability, rootedness, groundedness. It may feel nice to reach one set of fingertips out and ground or root to the earth. Just finding a nice easy breath in and out through the nose. Beginning to cultivate that breath. We'll slowly blink the eyes open. We'll stretch the legs out long, so flex the feet. Take the hands just by the sides. You can lean back a little if that feels nice. We'll still start to go ahead and get into the feet and the ankles. So just start to roll the feet out. So we're turning the little toes out. Allow that to settle. Then turn the toes in. So maybe you push the ankles and the feet out a little wider, starting to get into the outside part of the leg. And then switch. Let's find a couple of these back and forth. Maybe you find a little bit more rapid movement, just beginning to warm up the ankles. Then we'll start to find circles. So circling the ankles. Maybe you start nice and slow, pointing the toes, taking them out to the side, and then flexing the toes back towards the face. Let's take a few circles in this direction. So anywhere that you need to be in the hands and the upper body to be comfortable. And then switch, circle the other way. Maybe the first few the other way, you go a little slower, find the fullest stretch across the top of the foot. Awesome, then come back to neutral. Just flex the toes back towards the knees. And then point and straighten the feet. A few times like this. You may notice that your ankles may already be getting fatigued just because we don't give them a lot of love usually. But we'll work some stability and some flexibility and mobility. So we won't do all feet and ankles. We'll just focus there. So if you need to make any other movements, and then take your strap or your strap-like object, towel, t-shirt, whatever, and reach it around the base of the feet. Start to walk the hands back, sit up nice and tall, and then walk forward. So we're trying to lead with a flat back to start. Maybe the head and neck can be neutral. So the toes are flexing nice and active. We're also stretching on the backs of the legs. Walk it back up. Take that 2 more times, walk it down and hold. Maybe you get a little bit deeper this time, flex the toes. Check in with the breath. Walk it back up, release, maybe shake the legs out a little. Last time, inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, walk it down. Slowly come back. Set your strap off to the side. We'll take soles of the feet together, knees wide. Rock out a little side to side here. And then inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, hinge forward and reach for the feet. So it may feel more comfortable if you can get the feet on your mat so your ankles have somewhere soft to land. But start to walk it forward and then look down at the feet and start to give yourself a little squeeze here. So giving a massage, starting with the toes and the ball mound of the foot, going into the arch, giving it a nice good squeeze. Just work your way up and down the foot. So definitely going to be a little bit different of a yoga class today, but it's important that we keep this mobility and length and stretch in the feet. Obviously we need our ankles to keep us stable when we walk or stand or try to balance. We want our feet to have some openness. So maybe just rubbing nice and deep. Awesome. Don't worry about whether or not you've had a pedicure recently. I certainly have not. It's one thing that's definitely fallen off everybody's radar or ability to do, right? So come up to the ankles and just give the ankles a nice squeeze, and then squeeze your way up the calves. Just a couple of times before we move on. Sometimes we don't realize how tight the ankles and the feet are until we start to try to manipulate them. So bring the knees in, and then we're going to cross at the ankles. We're going to come to sit on the heels. So sitting back on the heels, so if I were to be on the side here, this one's super intense. So we're going to do it a few times now. We'll do it again at the end of class, but I want you to try to be gentle. So we're sitting on the heels. The toes are not flexed. They're just nice and flat, high norm. And we're going to take the hands back and rock back a little so that our weight is back behind our hips. And then start to lift the knees. So the more you lift the knees, the more you're going to stretch across the front of the foot. Hi, buddy. So you're stretching across the very front of the ankle and the foot. So come down, give it a little rest. We'll do that a few more times. So go to your depth. You want to feel a stretch, but you don't want anything to be painful here. If it feels better to just do one at a time, I get a little bit better of a stretch with 2 at a time. Just lifting the knees and you're kind of rocking back. And release. Give it a little break. And one more time if you feel like that would feel nice. We'll be here again later. You can do more after class. Awesome. Come back to neutral. And we'll flex the other direction. So tuck the toes and we'll sit back on the heels. So this is called broken toe pose. Maybe I shouldn't have told you that, but it's not going to break your toes. Just going to stretch out the backs of the feet underneath the arches. Sometimes that can be really tight. So be gentle here if you need to come out and then sit back down and take a break. We'll just be here for a few more rounds of breath. Sometimes it's nice to distract yourself, so if you want to roll out the wrist or find a little interlace open in the chest, give yourself a hug, whatever you can do in the upper half of the body to warm it up and maybe distract a little from the toes. I have seen a yin class where we held this for 5 minutes. It was pretty It's pretty terrible, I'm not gonna lie. It's more of a mental game than anything, but. So come out gently, and we'll just tap the toes out. So give them a little bit of relief. And then find your way to your hands and knees. So again, I always like to have a blanket or a towel to pad my knees. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Knees are as wide as hips. Shake the hips side to side. And then we'll just find some cat-cows, warming up the spine. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, inhale. For our cow pose, round the spine, tuck the chin. Exhale for our cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Spin a couple more rounds with your own breath. And when you're ready, come back to neutral spine. Pull the belly button into the spine. Maybe walk the fingertips a little forward. You want to have space to stretch the legs out behind us. So walk a little forward. Right toes tuck back behind, press towards the right heel. Try to keep everything else pretty neutral. So I have a tendency to lock out my elbows. I have some double jointedness in the elbow. So try to pull the eyes of the elbows towards each other. Press the weight back towards the right heel. Stretching out the calf, the foot and the ankle. Come back up to neutral, release just for a few rounds of breath. Lift and roll the ankle out a couple times each way. And then come back, find this stretch. Maybe you move a little forward and back. And then hold. Come back to neutral, roll the ankle out again a couple times each way. We'll do a little bit of work in the arms just so we're not neglecting them. So we'll find a little optional little chaturanga. So pull the elbows back and press back up 2 more times. Little baby, push up. Pull the knee into the chest, step it through. We'll come immediately into that half split. So walk the hands back, straighten out the right foot. Peel the right toes back. So we'll stay here, toes peeled neutrally, straight back. Take a few rounds of breath. And then we're gonna pull the big toe in, kind of like we did when we had our legs extended. Pull the big toe to the left. So we're getting outside of the leg here. And then pull the little toes out to the right. Find your breath. Maybe rock a little back and forth. Big toe in and then out. Just being gentle here. And we'll bend back into the front knee. We'll walk this right foot out. We're moving into lizard lunge. I'll move my hands out of the way. So get the right foot out towards the right edge of the mat. Maybe you can allow the foot to open so you're on that outside blade of the foot. And start to walk it down so the knee could rest. Maybe you can come to the elbows. So option is stay up high. Or if you feel like you don't want to be so close to the ground, tuck the back toe and find a more active lizard. So we're getting into that outer right hip. And allowing the foot to open. Slowly walk it back to neutral. Pull the right knee in to meet the left. Shake it out. We'll take all that on the other side. So you want to find a couple circles first. Come back to neutral. Maybe walk it forward if you've traveled back on the mat. Tuck the left toes back, press the weight into the heel. Try to keep the gaze neutral. Check in with the breath. Push the body weight back towards the extended heel. Next, inhale, pull it back to neutral. Lift the toes, roll out the foot and the ankle. Come back, find that calf stretch. Maybe you find a little movement forward and back. Come back to neutral, roll out the calf and the ankle. And then pull the knee into the chest, step it through. And we'll immediately move back into that high half split. So maybe wiggle the fingertips, the toes forward. Peel the left foot back. So trying to keep the hips neutral here, getting a big stretch down the calf. Flex the toes. And then we'll start to find this little wag of the toes. So wag the big toe towards the right. Wag it back towards the left. Find a little movement there. Rocking back and forth in the ankle and the toes. Maybe hold one if you're feeling a good stretch. Awesome, bend back into the front knee. Walk this left foot out wide. Come to the outside blade of the foot if it's comfortable. Allow the foot to fall open just a little bit. And then start to work your way into your lizard lunge. Slowly work your way back up. Walk it back to neutral. Pull the left knee back to meet the right. We'll sit back on the heels again, toes untucked. We'll find that opening of the front again. So walk the hands back. Rock back, allow the knees to lift, stretch out the front of the ankle. And release 2 more times. So we're sitting back on the heels. Rock the weight back, lift the knees. Maybe find another few rounds of breath on this time around. And come back. Let the feet release. One last time. One more round of breath, and then come back to neutral. So we'll find a little bit of standing work as well. So you probably don't need the blanket or the towel any longer. We'll work our way back into our down dog. So walk it out, tuck the toes. Find your upside down V. Feet are about hip distance apart to walk your legs out. So bend one knee and then the other. And then find some stillness in your down dog. Fingers spread nice and wide. Gaze is back through the knees. And we'll come high on the toes. Start to walk the toes as high as you can up to the front of the mat. Find your forward fold, bend in the knees. Reach for the arms, find ragdoll. So grab for opposite elbows and sway. Take 5 more rounds of breath here. Maybe you slow this way down and just find stillness. Focusing on how you're rooted down into the earth, all 4 corners of the feet, all 10 toes. Strong and stable. Lift up halfway, inhale. Exhale, fold, root the hands down, and come up high on the toes. So we'll do just little gentle raises, raise the heels and drop them back down. Stretching out the toes. Let's do 2 more. Maybe get some snack pop, crackle pop in the ankles. Awesome, and then we'll drag the hands, find our way into chair pose. So sit it back, like you're sitting back on a chair. Option to bring the hands to heart if that's more comfortable. Try to take the sway out of the back. Root down through the feet. Option to stay in your chair but rise up to the toes. Release the heels, fold forward, shake it out. Do that a few more times and add on. So drag the fingertips, sit it back into your chair. Stay rooted here or come high onto the toes. Work that ankle stability. Drop the heels, fold it over, shake it out. Sweep the arms, find your chair. Come high onto the toes as an option. And then we'll straighten the legs out, stay on the toes. Find our way high on the toes here. I'll stay to the side so you can see. Reach the arms up. And then release. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hand, step it back. Find your high plank. And I'm going to drop to the knees, but you can take high to low plank if you want. Find your way to the belly. 3 times baby cobra. Pull the elbows back. So feet are rooted down. And release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. There's no weight in the hands here. Exhale, release. Take it back, we'll find child's. So child's another pose where if the feet are really tight, we drop the hips back to the heels. And sometimes for some people, the feet don't want to just lay. So another place to focus in on how the feet feel in this pose. Rest the head. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. Start to walk it back up. Before we continue with our chairs, we're going to sit back on the toes, find that broken toe pose again. Maybe roll the neck out. Drag the chin across the chest and back. Check in with the breath. And walk it back down. Find your down dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Walk your dog out. Find some stillness. We'll pick the toes up and drop both heels to the right. Come back high to the toes, drop both heels to the left. Come back to neutral. Come high on the toes, start to walk it forward. Find your way eventually to your forward fold. Feet hip distance, big bend in the knees. Rock side to side, find your ragdoll. Release, fingertips to the mat. Start to come high on the toes. And release 2 more times. Find your little point of balance. Last time. And then we'll sweep the arms through, find our chair, sit it back. Hands come to heart. Option to stay here in your chair or come to the toes. And release. 2 more times. Come to the toes. And release. We're staying in our chair, working the legs. Come to the toes. Option to rise all the way up to standing. Find that balance. And release. Awesome. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Lift up halfway. Plant the hands. Come to your plank. Drop to the knees, untuck the toes. Peel the chest down. Peel it back, baby cobra. 2 more times, release. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale. Exhale, release. Take it back, find your child's. Knees wide, drop the hips back towards the heels. Slowly start to walk the hands back. We're going to stay on the earth this time. We're going to move into a yogi squat. So, plant the soles of the feet, turn the knees out. So a couple of options here, depending on how the flexibility in the ankles and the feet are. It may not be comfortable to be with the feet on the mat. You can place your blanket or your towel underneath the heels, give them a little wedge. Or additional option, if this isn't comfortable at all, you can find a couple of books to sit on, or you could find a goddess or a horse pose, just come a little higher. So find a version that works for you, but we're getting some nice flexion in the foot. Elbows, press the knees out. Check in with your breath. If you want to test some flexibility and balance, maybe come high on the toes and drop them down. If it's available for you, just having a little fun. If you fall over, at least you're already close to the ground. 2 more rounds of breath. Maybe take a cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. So maybe the ankles are talking to you a little bit. Come to the bum. Similar to what we did before, find the knees wide. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Maybe this time you start to press the elbows down into the legs. And again, find the little nice squeeze on the feet, the arches, maybe the toe mounds. And then option 2, to start to press the feet open, almost like you're opening a book. So press the big toe mound away from each other so the little toes are coming together. Or you can take the hands and completely open the feet. Read your little flip book. and release. Maybe do that a few more times if there's space and it's comfortable. So we're opening the feet so the little toes come together. Then we'll let the feet come to neutral, start to fold over our ankles. So leading with a flat back and then start to fold. Three more rounds of breath here. Slowly rise it back up. We'll take one more series of posture standing. Pull the knees into the chest. Cross of the ankles, roll up. So if you want to just roll up one vertebra at a time. So ankle stability can really be focused on if we work on our 1 foot standing balancing poses. So shake the legs out. I'll mirror you. So root down through the right foot. Pop the left foot up. So option here, kickstand. We're finding our version of tree. If you want to bring the foot to the calf, or maybe you have this space to pull it up into the inner thigh, but definitely avoid into the knee area. So we're focusing on the stability of the ankle in the standing rooted foot. Take a few rounds of breath here. Just noticing if the ankle rolls a little side to side. See if you can root it, the foot in, lift the chest up, find a little lightness in the pose. If you have a wall nearby and you need to use it, of course, feel free. See if you can work that ankle stability. 2 more rounds of breath. Awesome. Pull the left knee into the chest, or whichever one you're not standing on. Roll the ankle out. One more pose standing on this side. Flex the toes. Turn the knee out sideways. We're going to sit it back. Find a little hip opener. Work some flexibility in both feet here. 3 rounds of breath. Awesome. Straighten out, shake it out. We'll do the other side. Then we'll come down and find our way back to the mat. So again, I'll mirror you. Root down through the left leg. Think about pressing the toes and the foot down to the earth for stability. Right toes come up, kickstand, calf, or into the thigh, just avoiding the knee joint. Lift up out of the chest. Find your tree pose. At least 10 rounds of breath here. Find a point to gaze at. It's out and away from you and up. Two more rounds of breath. And then pull this right knee in, roll the ankle out. Flex the toes, start to turn the knee out, sit it back, find your little chair, but with this ankle figure 4. One more round of breath here. And release, shake it out. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. And then we'll just take it wide and find ourselves back into our Malasana squat. Just 3 rounds of breath here. Maybe have a little bit more space. Awesome. Slowly come back. Find your way to your mat. Have your strap or your strap substitute nearby. Rock back onto the back and rock a little side to side. Allow the left foot to ground on the mat or lay out long, whatever feels better. Take the right foot into your strap or your t-shirt, whatever you're using. Walk the hands down so you're melting the shoulders into the earth. Flex the toes back towards the face. We'll find something similar to what we did earlier. So flex the little toes out to the right. And flex the big toes into the left. Just switch. And then find a place where you'd like to stay for a few rounds of breath. For me, I get a little bit more stretch if I extend the other leg. And slowly switch, so we'll bend into the right knee, extend the left leg long. Walk the hands down your strap or your shirt. Flex the toes back. And then pull the big toes in to center line. Then out the left edge of the mat. So just wagging the toes back and forth. And finding a place where you can hold for about 5 rounds of breath. Slowly release. Set the strap off to the side. Pull the knees in. Take the knees wide. We'll reach for happy baby. So reach both soles of the feet to the earth. Maybe you can reach for the outside blades of the feet or the big toes. Hook the big toes with your first 2 fingers and your thumb. We'll be here for about 10 rounds of breath. Allow the tailbone to melt down towards the earth. Knees pressing down to the earth. Finding a squat, just a little upside down squat. One more round of breath here. Release the feet. Cross the right ankle over the left. Reach around, grab for the back of the left thigh. Find your hip opener here. Maybe you want to roll the right foot and ankle out just a little bit. Three more rounds of breath. And then we'll take a twist. So if you'd like, you can keep the knees just as they are, keep the leg position, and then start to rock over to the left. Find your little twist. Inhale back to center and we'll switch left ankle above the right knee. Let's take 6 or so rounds of breath here. And then find your twist, take the arms wide, drop this whole shape over to the right. Slowly come back to neutral, hug the knees into the chest. One last time, give the ankles and the toes a little squeeze, a little roll. And then release, start to find your way into your version of Shavasana, final resting pose. Allow everything to fall. Allow the ground to hold you up. The little toes fall out wide. Hands can rest on the belly or fall open to the sky to receive this energy. Relaxing the space between the eyebrows. Relaxing the jaw. And releasing the shoulders down towards the mat. Take rest. I'll bring us back together in a few minutes to close class. Slowly starting to bring some awareness back to your breath. Bringing awareness back into the physical body. Wiggling fingers and toes. And eventually pulling the knees into the chest. And starting to fall over to one side. Gently press yourself up to seated. Allowing the eyes to be heavy or closed. Next inhale, we'll reach the arms overhead. Exhale, side out. Drag the hands down to the chest. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, let it go. Last time, inhale, reach. Exhale, side out. Connect the knuckles of the thumbs to the sternum, symbolizing the connection of our body to our breath. Taking a moment to find gratitude for the time that you took for yourself, for your practice this morning, or whenever you chose to practice today. Gratitude for everything that you ask of your feet and your ankles and your toes. They allow you to walk through the world, find balance. And gratitude for all the amazing things that your body is capable of doing. Reminding yourself that you are enough just as you are right now. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. No changes needed. No apologies necessary. Taking this sense of gratitude and the feeling of being enough with you for the rest of your day and your week. It's truly my honor to guide you through your practice. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed this focus on the feet and the toes.